expectations versus the reality of the situation.
Right.
And the reality is we're not all the same.
We're not.
So accepting me for who I am, accepting ourselves for who we are, and then living in the space that we are right now.
Right. And abortions and miscarriages and loss of any kind can come with a level of shame that we don't talk about enough, specifically abortions, because on one end you can say, well, I made this decision and it might kind of be a relief. Like, I'm kind of glad I'm not in this situation. And on the other side of that coin, you can be like, I didn't have any other choice. And if I did, I would have kept this child. And now you have these uncomfortable emotions and you don't know how to navigate it. And the next thing you know is 2 years down the line and you watching a Huggies commercial and you're crying. Why am I crying, right? So that stored up grief in the body and in the mind is something that we want to address. Now, do I have the pleasure of knowing each individual story of if you're watching online or if you're in this room? No, I don't have that pleasure, but I do have enough human knowledge to kind of empathize with the idea that we should probably all agree today. We don't just kind of walk up to girlies and be like, when are you having kids?
My. When I want to.
When I want to. When I can, right? Because you don't know if the heart of that person you're talking to is waiting to have children and they're struggling with infertility, or their IVF journey just failed for the 4th time, or they wanted to have a baby, but they didn't have the money to keep it, or they got pregnant by an abusive partner and they didn't want to raise someone to grow up to look like their abuser. You have no idea what heart you're talking to. And those kinds of questions can be a little bit triggering. So I implore all of you, all the girly pops in the room, when you talk to other girly pops, maybe you should ask them, like, what are you doing this weekend? That's a lovely question. Have you been to Kava? Do you want to go to Kava with me? But questions like, when are you having a baby? When are you getting married? Oh, you remember that one time you said that you were going to get a graduate degree? When are you going to work on that? We don't know the circumstances that leads to some people's yes or some people's no. So we just want to be a wee bit more empathetic. Yeah, can we agree to that?
Agreed.
Yes. Agreed to that. All right, so we understand that the wealth of knowledge that has been offered on this stage is just that. It is a wealth of knowledge. I am not your therapist, okay? You don't know my license with the state of Florida, okay? So this is not a replacement for medical advice. Please go talk to your doctor, talk to the Lord, talk to your therapist, and talk to the Lord. Talk to your psychiatry provider and talk to the Lord. He's a friend of yours. Y'all learn quickly. I hope that you continue this conversation with the people at your table for the duration of the event. I also hope that you do subscribe to the Life Well Co. on all social media platforms if you have not already. And we are going to close out this event with one more question from me, and then we'll take questions from the audience. I'm going to ask everybody on the stage, Sharon, if there was one thing you would have wanted to know about how to be well, what would it have been?
How to love me.
Yeah.
How to love me.
Love yourself.
To love myself, because that was one of the hardest battles I fought.
Loving yourself.
Yeah, because I judged myself based on society's standards. And when I did not measure up, then I was inadequate.
Yeah. Okay. Keisha, what about you? How to be well?
I guess that this is truly a journey.
Yeah.
You're gonna have those days when you're well, and there's gonna have those days when you're not well. And I guess accepting that and learning how to navigate through that.
Okay. Markeisha?
Live in each moment, each season of your life, and accept it and be content in it and thrive in that moment that you're in, instead of waiting or wishing for the next while you're there.
Yeah.
Enjoy the moment you're in.
Be where your feet are.
Be where your feet are.
I like that. I would have, I guess, told myself, if I could have been my own therapist as a teenager, be where your feet are. That's what I would have said. You're in high school, or you're at FAMU, or you're at FSU. That's the only place you are right now, and that's the only thing you have to be accountable for. And when you get somewhere else, be accountable to that space as well, okay? So we close out the Life Well podcast the same way every single time. If you know what I'm about to say, please don't say it with me, because I got to put the track on the episode. So I hope that this conversation found you well, and if not, I hope that you become well, and prayerfully, we all stay well. I'm Catherine, and this is the Life Well podcast.